All right, let's talk about a real kitchen game changer, Martha Stewart's pâte brisée. That perfect, flaky, versatile pastry dough. Seriously, this one recipe is the key that unlocks everything from massive pies to fancy tarts, both sweet and savory. So let's dive right in and master this thing.
Okay, if you walk away with only one piece of information today, this is it. Make it cold, bake it hot. This is Martha's mantra, her golden rule. It's literally the secret to getting that light, flaky, shatter-in-your-mouth crust every single time. Everything else we talk about, it all comes back to this one simple idea.
So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll cover Martha's golden rules for the dough itself. Then, we'll put it to the test with that incredible mile-high apple pie. After that, we'll see just how versatile it is with some sweet pears and savory tomatoes. And finally, we'll bring it all home from our kitchen to yours. All right, let's get into the foundation of a perfect crust. The funny thing is, mastering this dough isn't about some crazy complicated technique. It's really just about getting a few core ideas right. Once you've got these down, a whole universe of baking just opens up to you. So what's the secret sauce? It's really just these three simple rules. Rule number one, make it cold. And I mean everything. Your butter should be practically frozen. Your water should have ice cubes in it. Why? Because when that cold butter hits the hot oven, it creates steam. And that steam creates those incredible flaky layers. Rule number two, bake it hot. You want to blast it with high heat at the beginning to set that structure fast. And rule three, use a food processor. This isn't just about being lazy, it's about speed. It keeps everything cold because your warm hands aren't messing with the butter. It's brilliant. And look how easy this is. It's literally 4 steps. You toss your flour and salt in the food processor, give it a quick pulse, then you throw in your cold butter cubes and pulse till they look like little peas. Now here's the key. You drizzle in that iced water while pulsing, but only until it just comes together. You really don't want to overwork it. Then you just dump it out, press it into a flat little disc, wrap it up, and get it in the fridge to chill. See? So simple, fast, foolproof. Okay, so we've got the theory down. Now let's see this dough perform in the wild with an absolute icon, the mile-high apple pie. This recipe is the ultimate test, right? It shows how this crust is strong enough to hold a truly ridiculous amount of delicious filling. 5.5 pounds. Let that sink in for a second. When Martha calls it mile high, she is not exaggerating. That's a secret to getting that incredible height, just an absolutely massive amount of apples. We're talking more apples than you think could possibly fit into one pie. Of course, you can't just use any old apple for this. The flavor is all about the blend. Martha uses this perfect trio. Jonagold and Granny Smith bring that bright, classic tartness we all love. But then she adds Mutsu apples, and they bring this incredible, deep, almost honey-like flavor. So you don't just get a sweet pie, you get this really complex, amazing filling. It's a whole symphony of apple flavor in there. Okay, let's build this thing. The filling is super straightforward. Just toss those apples with lemon juice, sugar, cinnamon, and a little flour to thicken things up. You pile all of it, and I mean pile it, into your crust, dot it with butter, and then pop on the top crust. Crimp the edges, maybe add a few leafy decorations. But wait, here's another one of those crucial little secrets. You chill the entire pie for about 20 minutes. This gets that butter in the crust super cold again right before it hits the oven. Then you brush it with an egg wash and into a super hot 450-degree oven it goes, just for a bit, before you lower the temp and bake till it's bubbly. That, right there, is the roadmap to a perfect pie. So we've seen what this dough can do in its classic form. But now for the really cool part, its incredible range. We're about to see how this exact same basic dough can go from a sweet, delicate dessert to a rich, savory tart. It's a total chameleon. And this just shows you everything you need to know, doesn't it? Look at that. On one side, you have these delicate, elegant little pear dumplings, and on the other, this rich, rustic, savory tomato tart. It's like they're from 2 different worlds, but they both start with the exact same pâte brisée. It's just amazing how you can take it in such completely different directions. So let's talk about the sweet side. For these pear dumplings, you start by poaching whole pears in this beautiful mix of white wine, vanilla, and cinnamon. The whole house smells amazing. Then you let them chill overnight so they soak up all that flavor. You fill them with a little cinnamon sugar and butter, wrap them up in our perfect pastry, chill them again, see the theme, and bake. Oh, and the best part, that poaching liquid gets cooked down into this incredible, thick, syrupy sauce you serve with it. Just gorgeous. Okay, so how do we pivot to savory? It's one tiny, simple change.
To make the crust a little richer and sturdier, so it can stand up to a really hearty filling, you just add 1 whole egg to the dough. That's it. It's such a small adjustment, but it completely changes the character of the crust. Now, for a savory tart like this, you'll need to know about a technique called blind baking. It sounds fancy, but it's super simple. It just means you pre-bake the crust before you put the filling in. You line it with some parchment paper, fill it with pie weights, or even just dried beans, and bake it for a bit. This is the absolute #1 way to prevent the dreaded soggy bottom. It guarantees your crust will be crisp all the way through.
So what are we putting in this amazing blind-baked crust? First, you spread a layer of sweet, rich, roasted garlic on the bottom. Then come the stars of the show, 24 slow-cooked confit tomatoes. We'll get to those in a sec. And to top it all off, 10 ounces of nutty, melty, grated Comté cheese. You bake the whole thing until it's just a bubbling, golden masterpiece. We're talking layers on layers of incredible flavor. And I just love how Martha describes these tomatoes. To make them confit, you basically slow roast them in oil at a really low temperature. They shrink way down, and all the water evaporates, leaving behind just pure, concentrated tomato flavor. She puts it perfectly. They become the essence of tomato. This isn't just a topping. It's what gives the tart this unbelievable, intense depth. So there you have it. We've gone through the rules, we've seen the classic pie, we've explored just how far you can push this dough. Now it's time to bring it all home and talk about what this means for you, in your kitchen. And really, the biggest secret of all is that it's not a dozen different complicated recipes. It's one single, super versatile dough that you can master just by following 3 simple rules. That's the whole takeaway. Get this one thing right, and you've built the foundation for pretty much anything you can dream of baking. Honestly, the techniques couldn't be simpler. And what you can do with them is, well, it's pretty much limitless. Think about it. Classic pies, savory tarts, sweet dumplings, this dough is basically your culinary blank canvas. So the only real question left is, now that you know the secret to a perfect crust, what are you going to create?